Hey guys, Miss Holly here, and today I'm going to show you how to make some spooky spider soap. So these kits are available to pick up at the Waynesville and Canton branches starting on October 21st. Your kit is probably going to look something like this. And what we're going to do is just do a quick little rundown. In your kit, you're going to have a set of instructions, which is obviously very important. You will have a little vial of essential oil, and most likely your oil is going to be pumpkin spice scented, but you may get something else like baked apples or another fall smell. You're also going to have a craft stick, which is great for stirring your soap. You will have a little spider that you can or cannot choose to put inside your soap. You'll have a little container that has some pigment powder. Mine here today, we're going to do this pretty bronze color. Yours could be any color under the rainbow. You'll have some little soap cubes. This is what they'll look like before you melt them down. And two things you're going to need that are not included in your kit. You are going to need some type of recycled container. This here was for some like peaches, I think. Yogurt containers are also really good. You just want to make sure it's that thicker type of plastic. And then you are also going to need some rubbing alcohol to kind of line your recycled container with to make sure the soap doesn't get stuck. And let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and already melted down my little soap cubes just because I didn't have a microwave right here to do it. You're going to want to do this in intervals. On the instructions I said 30-second intervals. However, I just tested out our microwave here and it's pretty high wattage, so I would actually do it in 10-second intervals just to be safe. Keep your eyes on it, watch through the window. If you see the soap starting to bubble up or go over your container, then pull it out immediately, let it cool down, go off, put it back in. You're just going to want to heat it until it's a homogeneous mixture, until it's liquid, no longer cube, and it's just going to be clear. So your craft stick that's included in your kit is just to help you stir it. And all you're going to need to do is first you're going to pour your essential oil inside the mixture. So you'll take your little bottle and just pour it in there and give it a good stir. Now, if you don't happen to like the scent that you were given in your kit, if you have any oils laying around your house, feel free to add your own scent. Like I said, I chose mostly fall flavors, but if that's not your taste, then you can always do something else. And now you're going to get this little container of your pigment powder, and this can be a little messy. I would not wear clothes that you are super fond of, or you're going to be really upset if this gets on it. It should wash out, but just to be safe, I would wear clothes that are good for crafting. And it is a powder, kind of like an eyeshadow that you might put on, so it's very thin. It's kind of like dusty, so it can get everywhere. So just empty your container very carefully, and you might need to tap the bottom to get some of that powder out. And now you're just going to stir that in to your mixture until it's all one color. And if your soap starts to congeal, all you have to do is pop it back in the microwave for a little bit longer. And it's totally fine to keep heating and cooling and reheating this mixture. That's kind of what this soap base is made to do. So as you can see, while I was sitting here chatting with you guys, mine started to congeal up. So I'm going to go heat it up again really quick in 10-second intervals. Make sure it is all nice and liquidy, and then we'll come back for the next part. You guys, theoretically, since you're not going to be here chatting on camera, yours shouldn't cool off like this while you're doing the process. You should be able to do it really quickly before it does this. But yeah, we'll be back in just a second. All right, guys, I'm back. All it literally took was 10 seconds, and here we are with a liquid mixture again. As you can kind of see, this pigment powder is shimmery. It's really pretty, so it should make your soap very fun. So now that we've got our mixture done, we're gonna prep our recycled container. You're just gonna take some plain old rubbing alcohol, the kind you probably have in a first aid kit at home, and just very lightly, if you have like a sprayer or mister, that works best. It's real easy. I don't have one here with me, so I'm just gonna pour the tiniest little bit inside this container and just kind of swish it around, let it coat it. This is just to ensure that your soap doesn't get stuck in the container. However, if it does, it's not the end of the world. Since this is a recycled plastic container, we can always cut around it if we have to with scissors, but this just makes it a little bit easier. So I think that's coated pretty nicely. Dump the excess. Okay, so now very carefully, you are going to pour your soap mixture into your recycled container. And be careful, you may want to use gloves or like a kitchen towel or something like that, just because whatever microwave safe container you use to heat your soap up in, it can get pretty hot. So just be careful. And depending on the temperature of your room, your soap may even start solidifying again, like mine is here. It's kind of cool in this room, but no worries. Alrighty. So as you can see here, you don't necessarily need enough soap to completely fill up your container. This is just a small little decorative soap we're doing. This is not like a big bar that we would use in our shower every day, so it doesn't have to be huge. Now, if you want to make this some spooky spider soap, you will take your little plastic spider and very carefully kind of stick him in the middle, and you can use your craft stick to push him down in there. And depending on the color of your pigment powder and how much you decide to put in here, your little spider may be completely hidden like mine, and so it'll be a surprise as you're using your soap when he appears. Or if you use less pigment powder or maybe a lighter color, you could kind of see him in the middle like on the example shown on the bag. Either way, it's totally fine. Whatever you want to do, this is a DIY craft, so do it however you like. You need to set this aside to let it completely cool off now. Could take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours, just depending on the humidity of your room and the temperature. So I'm gonna let mine sit for a while, and I will be back to check on it in a couple of hours, so I'll see you then. Hey guys, here we are a couple hours later. It looks like the soap has completely solidified. Ooh, and it just popped right out. And here we go. We've got our recycled container soap, and our little spooky spider is hiding in the middle, so it'll be a nice surprise as we wash our hands with it. Like I said, if you use less pigment powder than me, you can have more of a clear color, so you could see the spider in it if you want to. That is totally up to you, or you can just leave it as a surprise. Depending on what type of recycled container you decide to use, yours might be a different shape. As you can see, the bottom is there. I kind of like that. It makes it look almost like a pumpkin, which is very appropriate for fall. I've seen where people have used yogurt containers, even Pringles containers. So there's a lot of options out there. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy your soap, and have a happy Halloween.